Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Got a new marathon by Dave and a wonderful idea. I think this is amazing because it's a biography. Each song contains a little biography of a famous person. So I'm super excited to do this. Thank you, Dave, so much for sponsoring this marathon. And there's some notes that I would like to read. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate it. Let's get going. So the theme is, like I said, biography, and it's songs about real people. So we're gonna start it off with Elton John, and we're gonna do "Candle in the Wind." Now, these are notes that Dave provided me with because I'm honestly not as savvy when it comes to what the song is about, so I'm learning as well. So the first one, "Candle in the Wind" by Elton John, is about Marilyn Monroe and was a hit, but with the death of Princess Diana in 1997, some of the lyrics are changed in her honor. The song became the number 2 selling song of all time. Wow. Oh, he joined us. Marley joined us. Last I looked at 33 million. Wow, that's crazy. So that's the first song we're gonna do. As we go by the songs, I'll speak about more facts and stuff. But yeah, let's give it up for Elton John, and we're gonna start with song number 1, and then we're gonna go through 4 more. So here we go with "Candle in the Wind," and I'll pull the lyrics up just in case. Sometimes I do get kind of like I focus too much at the music, and then I kind of like I can't hear the lyrics. So here we go. This is from "Candle in the Wind," and yeah, 1997. Here we go.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed itself where lives were torn apart. You called out to our country, and you whispered to those in pain. Now you belong to heaven, and the stars spell out your name. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when the rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greenest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will.
I've heard this before, but not this version. I think I've heard I think a 70s version. I don't know. "Candle in the Wind." Let's keep listening. This is beautiful because yes, of course, I mean, "Goodbye England's Rose." I love it. What a loss, Princess Diana. So let's keep going. But I've heard this before, but it has a different, this is a slower version. So but I love that Dave provided it was this was oh my God, I can't even talk with this one here. So let's continue. Beautiful. I love it.
Loveliness we've lost, these empty days without your smile, this torch we'll always carry for our nation's golden child. And even though we try, the truth brings us to tears. All our words cannot express the joy you brought us through the years. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greenest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will. Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed itself where life was torn apart. Goodbye, England's rose, from a country lost without your soul, who missed the wings of your compassion more than you'll ever know. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when the rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greenest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will. Your footsteps will always fall here along England's greenest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will.
My God, what a wonderful tribute. Man, I have like a lump in my throat. Yeah, because I had heard the original, which I looked up, which was dedicated to Marilyn Monroe in 1973. I'd never heard this version, and I know I saw a documentary, and he was devastated when Princess Diana passed away on that, accident. I guess they were really good friends, and I don't know, he is a Sir Elton John, so I guess I don't know how that works in England, but I guess I'm gonna look it up afterwards. Wonderful, beautiful tune and wonderful tribute, and I mean, Elton John is what a musician. So next one was gonna be Sir Duke, but I told Dave that I heard it before, so we changed it for REM, and this is gonna be about Andy Kaufman. Now, Andy Kaufman, I know Andy Kaufman through a couple of episodes that Alexia had shown me from the show Taxi, but I did see the Jim Carrey movie Man on the Moon, and that is just insane. It's almost like Jim Carrey was possessed by Andy Kaufman's ghost, and he even said so. He's like, I'm Andy Kaufman now. And then even that other character that Andy would play, the guy with the beard, who was like always super rude, and like Jim Carrey, just like, I think that's where he like demonstrated what an amazing actor he is. Yes, he's very funny and he makes faces, but it's almost a travesty that he never won an Oscar, because he's such an amazing actor. I mean, yes, he makes faces and a lot of people find him annoying, but if you really like check him out, if you check out that movie, you'll see he's not kidding around. That is an amazing actor right there. So this is REM, and it's called Man on the Moon, and this is from, let's see, what album? I have it here set up in a weird way. Let me open this up real quick. Let's see. This is from Automatic for the People album. This is from 1992 and called Man on the Moon. And this was also featured in the movie. So that's pretty much, I guess, where I've heard it before. Yeah, that would have been when I saw the movie, so I don't remember. So here we go with Man on the Moon. Let's go.
Martin Luther King in the game of life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Andy Coffin in the wrestling match. Yeah, 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 yeah. Monopoly 21, checkers and chess. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Fred Lassie in a breakfast mess. Let's play Twister, let's play Risk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll see you in heaven if you make the list. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the punch? Andy, are you goofing on Elvis too, baby? Are we losing touch? If you believe they put a man on the moon, man on the moon. If you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, then nothing is cool. Moses went walking with the staff of wood. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Newton got mean by the apple. Yeah, 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 yeah. Egypt was troubled by the horrible asp. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Charles Darwin had the golden mask. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the punch? Hey, Andy, are you goofing on Elvis? Hey, baby, are you having fun? If you believe they put a man on the moon, man on the moon. If you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, then nothing is cool. Here's a little ghost for the offering. Yeah, 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 yeah. Here's a truck stop instead of St. Peter's. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Andy Coffin's gone wrestling. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the punch? Hey, Andy, are you goofing on Elvis? Hey, baby, are we losing touch? If you believe they put a man on the moon, man on the moon.
So good, man. Oh my God.
If you believe.
Okay, paused. It's paused. What a beautiful song. So many lyrics. Well, yes, I don't really know like too much about Andy Coffin. I've seen some, you can nowadays, of course, watch all kinds of stuff on YouTube, and I pulled him up, and he was always very loud and very, of course, he tried to very chaotic. You know, I've seen him in like night shows and stuff like that, and he was getting punched and screaming at the talk show hosts, and you know, I've seen the wrestling stuff, and I don't really know what happened. I'm gonna look it up, but I do know that he passed away around the age of 35, very very young. So, and that he had obviously a lot of mental problems and stuff. But I think this is a wonderful tribute, you know, to him, because, well, yeah, you know. And I mean, if you look up the song, there's so much lyrics in this, and I love the whole like, yeah, 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 yeah. You know, it's very REM is such a efficient band, you know, and everything I hear from them is like just amazing. So like Losing My Religion and stuff like that, you know, that's like, I guess, their most famous one. But I think Shiny Happy People is another one I reacted to here on the channel. But wonderful. Let's keep going.
There's nothing up there to see, and nothing is
Awesome. Awesome, man. Very cool. I love it. What a cool tune. This is such a good idea, you know, like really cool. Very cool theme. So let's see. Now the next one. Give me 1 second. Abraham Martin and John by Dion. The song is about Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., John and Robert Kennedy, who were all assassinated for trying to do better. Wow. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. Let's pull that one up. All right. And also this is from the best of from 2001, the best of Dion, and I've never heard him, so I'm let's see, 1, 2, and let's go.
Anybody here seen my old friend Abraham? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seemed good they die young. You know, I just looked around and he's gone. Anybody here seen my old friend John? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seemed good they die young. I just looked around and he's gone. anybody here seen my old friend Martin? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seemed good they die young. I just looked around and he's gone. Didn't you love the things that they stood for? Didn't they try to find some good for you and me? And we'll be free someday soon. He's gonna be one day. Anybody here see my old friend Bobby? Can you tell me where he's gone? I thought I saw him walking up over the hill with Abraham and Martin and John.
All right. Wow. Yeah. So also another great tribute. From 1968 originally. This it says here Abraham, Martin, and John is a 1968 song written by Dick Holler. It was first recorded by Dion in a version that was substantially a substantial North American chart hit in 1968 and 69. Near simultaneous cover versions by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles and the Moms Mabley also charted in the US in 1969. And a version that same year by Marvin Gaye became a hit version in the UK. It was also a hit as part of a medley with What the World Needs Now Is Love. Now, Tom Clay in 1971 has substantially been recorded by many other artists. So I guess the song was covered by many. Now, the song itself is a tribute to the memory of 4 assassinated Americans, all icons of social change: Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., and Robert F. Kennedy. It was written in response to the assassination of King and that of Robert Kennedy in April and June of 1968. That's crazy because it's so sad that these people really wanted to help and make change. And I guess there's a lot of people out there who think that change is not supposed to happen, or they don't benefit of that kind of change. And that's, the problem, I guess, that's always been, that's it happens almost everywhere. Like, not just, I've seen this kind of thing, of course, like these are very huge recognized people, but also in other countries. There was this guy I remember when I lived in Mexico, and this guy who was going to become president of Mexico, and he was running, and he was a very different kind of, like, not corrupt, and he really wanted some good change, and he was killed, literally, like giving a speech. And this has happened in Germany, this has happened in England, this has happened everywhere. The good people will always, unfortunately, be in danger. Like, people who want change for good, it's such a I guess, since this goes back thousands of years. All right, so The Hurricane by Bob Dylan, song about Ruben Hurricane Carter. Carter was a mid 1960s middleweight boxer. I think I've seen that movie with Denzel Washington. Him and a friend were falsely accused and convicted in mid 1970s of a triple murder that took place in 1966. He was finally let out about 20 years later and died in 2014 of cancer. Oof. Yeah. I think I saw that a long time ago, but I remember the hurricane and that he played. And I love Denzel Washington. He is still a great actor. I mean, the last stuff he has done, I've always been so impressed by him in what was that movie where he plays that corrupt cop? Because he plays such a good villain, you know. And then I saw him as a father in what was that movie where he wants to save his son. He saves his son pretty much like by taking a hospital hostage. Oh man, what was that called? I don't remember. I have it on the tip of my tongue. You guys, I'm sure you know. But yeah, let's give it up for Bob Dylan. And I loved seeing Bob Dylan in We Are the World. He was a little bit out of his element because there's all these like singer, they're all these doing all these octaves and you know, and he's like more like, you know, I'm a folk singer. What am I supposed to do here with Michael Jackson? And you know, and Stevie Wonder took him like, hey, come over, you know. Let's just do it this way. I love that part because Stevie Wonder pretty much said, this is what you do. Just deliver it that way, you know. And then that's what he did. So let's give it up for Bob Dylan and the Hurricane. And this is from the album Desire from 1976. And I love to see him smile on there. Because in that whole documentary, he was not kind of like out of his comfort zone. So it was kind of shocking to see him. Like, and then when Stevie Wonder told him, just do it like this, he delivered the lines, you know, then he was suddenly smiling and it was just a great moment. I was like literally in tears the entire time through this document. First of all, because what an amazing time to be alive and witness this and have all these amazing artists be on the center stage, you know. And it's so sad that now we don't have these artists anymore. And nowadays good artists are basically just like all doing their indie stuff, you know. They don't really get that platform that people maybe in the 70s, 80s and 90s got, you know. It's just so much harder nowadays because there's good musicians, but they're just not, you know, what people in the music industry want today out of musicians is garbage, you know, and that's what they feed people, garbage, you know, the music that is in the top charts. I see it all the time when I look at the Rick Beato videos. He's always like, why is music so bad? Because the people that are in the music industry, these new people, it's almost like they don't know what's good, you know. They think that's gonna sell, and it unfortunately does sell, otherwise they wouldn't sell it. But that's like that cycle, you know. Okay, so Hurricane, here we go with Bob Dylan.
Pistol shots ring out in a barroom night. Enter Betty Valentine from the upper hall. She sees a bartender in a pool of blood. Cries out, my God, they've killed them all. Here comes the story of the hurricane. The man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world.
Wow. What a delivery, this guy.
Three bodies lying there, does Patty see? And another man named Bello moving around mysteriously. I didn't do what he says, and he throws up his hands. I was only robbing the register, I hope you understand. part of town. Ruben, Carter, and a couple of friends are driving around. Number one contender for the middleweight crown. Had no idea what kind of shit was about to go down. When a cop pulled him over to the side of the road, just like the time before and the time before that. In Patterson, that's just the way things go. If you're black, you might as well not show up on the street unless you wanna draw the heat. Alfred Bellow had a partner and he had a rap for the cops. Him and other Dexter Bradley were just out prowling around. He said, I saw two men running out, they looked like middleweights. Jumped into a white car without upstate plates. And Miss Patty Valentine just nodded her head. Cop said, wait a minute, boys, this one's not dead. So they took him to the infirmary. And though this man could hardly see, he told him he could identify the guilty man. The wounded man looks up to his one dying eye. See, why'd you bring him in here, for he ain't the guy. Here's the story of the hurricane, the man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world. Later,
I love this song. It's so good. The delivery, the lyrics, the violin breaks, you know, that interplay. But I just love Bob Dylan's delivery, the way like he's almost like talking, but he is singing. But I love that. Even when they mention him in The Doors, you know, in that movie. But he just had that style and he was brilliant at it, you know, and he still is, you know, and what a legend, you know. I love this song. It's 8 minutes. It's so good. There's so much content in here that's good, you know, so enjoyable. Okay, I just needed to get it out because I was not even going to pause, but I needed to talk about this.
4 months later, the ghetto's on flame. Ruben's in South America, fighting for his name. Well, Arthur Dexter Bradley's still in the robbery game. And the cops are putting the screws to him, looking for somebody to blame. Remember that murder that you happened in a bar? Remember you said you saw the getaway car? Think you'd like to play ball with the law? Think it might have been that fighter that you saw running that night. Don't forget that you are white. Dexter Bradley said, I'm really not sure. The cop said a poor boy like you can use a break. We got you for the motel job and you're talking to your friend Bello. You don't want to have to go back to jail, be a nice fellow. You'll be doing society a favor. That son of a bitch is brave and getting braver. We want to put his ass in the stir. We want to pin this triple murder on him. He ain't no gentleman jail. Ruben could take a man out with just one punch, but he never did like to talk about it all that much. It's my work, he'd say, I do it for pay. And when it's over, just as soon go on my way up to some paradise where the trout streams flow and the air is nice, and ride a horse along the trail. But then they took him to the jailhouse where they tried to turn a man into a mouse. a chance. The judge made Ruben's witnesses drunkards from the slums. To the white folks who watched, he was a revolutionary bum. And to the black folks, he was just a crazy nigger. No one doubted that he pulled the trigger. And though they could not produce the gun, the DA said he was the one who did the deed, and the old white jury agreed. Ruben Carter was falsely tried. The crime was murder one. Guess who testified? Bellow and Bradley, and they both all they lied. And the newspapers, they all went along for the ride. How can the life of such a man be in the palm of some fool's hand? To see him obviously framed couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game. Now all the criminals in the coats and their ties are free to drink martinis and watch the sunrise, while Ruben sits like Buddha in a 10-foot cell, an innocent man in a living hell. Yes, that's the story of the hurricane, but it won't be over till they clear his name and give him back the time he's done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world.
Wowza. So I did not know, about the swearing and the racial slurs. I don't endorse that, of course. Please warn me next time. I mean, I get it, it was a different time and this was recorded. Obviously this is very offensive, and so I apologize. But I did not know the lyrics, like especially the N word. I do not endorse that at all. And I mean, yes, ass, whatever, shit, whatever. I'm sure I can say that on YouTube. But the N word, that I don't know if it's gonna get blocked. Let's see. I mean, I should have looked. It says explicit lyrics. But I thought, he's going to drop like an S, an S word or an F. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. Whoever gets offended, I do apologize. And we have to move on. This next one, let's see. It says here, number 5, Ballad of Ira Haze by Johnny Cash. This is a cover. Song is about an American Pima Indian from Arizona who served in World War II. He was most famous for the Iwo Jima flag raising. That's crazy. That's one of my favorite movies. Flags of Iwo Jima, and then what is it called? Flags of Our Fathers, and the other one is it's this oh god, is it Flags of Iwo Jima? No. Flags of Our Fathers, and the other one, so that's one movie, and then by Clint Eastwood, and the other one is where is it? Letters. Okay, I was like, what's the other letters from Iwo Jima from the same perspectives, but from the Japanese, which is just that's. I wish they would make more movies from the perspectives of the German people in World War II, because they've only done one, which is Valkyrie with Tom Cruise, and because nobody ever talks about that the German people actually tried to kill Hitler over, I think, 20 times. Let's see. How many times did Germany try to kill Hitler? 42 plots. 42 times. Imagine. Nobody ever talks about that. I think it's a big subject that should be talked about, because we did try, so yeah. Okay, so let me just finish this. So he was most famous for the Iwo Jima flag raising. He didn't want the notoriety that came with being a famous war hero. He died at an early age of alcoholism. He was portrayed by Tony Curtis in the movie The Outsider. Oh, wow. Okay. I've seen The Outsiders. Okay, so we have to watch that. Okay, here we go. The Ballad of Ira Haze. Johnny Cash, the legendary Johnny Cash. Here we go. Oh my God.
Ira Haze. Ira Haze.
Okay, something dropped and it scared the hell out of me. I don't know how though, but it's gonna be fine. Okay, good bloop. I'm gonna leave that in, of course. So let's go again. I want to see my face, Lynn.
Ira Haze, Ira Haze, call him drunken Ira Haze, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. Gather round me, people, there's a story I would tell about a brave young Indian you should remember well. From the land of the Piedmont Indian, a proud and noble band who farmed the Phoenix Valley in Arizona land. Down their ditches 1,000 years, the waters grew Ira's people's crops, till the white man stole their water rights and the sparkling water stopped. Now Ira's folks were hungry, and their land grew crops of weeds. When war came, Ira volunteered and forgot the white man's greed. Call him drunken Ira Haze, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. There they battled up Iwo Jima Hill, 250 men, but only 27 lived to walk back down again. And when the fight was over and Old Glory raised, among the men who held it high was the Indian Ira Haze. Call him drunken Ira Haze, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine that went to war. Ira Haze returned the hero,
celebrated through the land. He was wined and speeched and honored. Everybody shook his hand, but he was just a Pima Indian. No water, no home, no chance. At home, nobody cared what Ira done, and when did the Indians dance? Call him drunken Ira Haze, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, or the Marine that went to war. Then Ira started drinking hard. Jail was often his home. They let him raise the flag and lower it, like you'd throw a dog a bone. He died drunk early one morning. Alone in the land he fought to save, 2 inches of water in a lonely ditch was a grave for Ira Haze. Call him drunken Ira Haze, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, or the Marine that went to war. Yeah, call him drunken Ira Haze, but his land is just as dry, and his ghost is lying thirsty in the ditch where Ira died.
Wow. Crazy. I think like the ghost of one of these people, like literally, like, I don't know what happened. You saw it. And I did not move anything. It just fell. Yeah, you know. So a little bit of information here. So Ira Hamilton Haze, soldier. Ira Hamilton Haze was an Akimel or Dohan indigenous American and a United States Marine during World War II. Haze was an enrolled member of the Gila River Indian community located in Pinal in Maricopa counties in Arizona. Wow, crazy. And I guess after the war, I mean, oh my God, he died literally of cold and alcohol poisoning. So there is a movie about him, literally, like crazy. Well, this is so, you know, there's so much information in this marathon. Like I could like spend the entire day, but this was a lot of fun. And thank you again, Dave, for this. You know, it's almost like a history lesson, you know. But Candle in the Wind, Man on the Moon, Abraham, Martin and John, Hurricane, and the Ballad of Ira Haze. What great songs. Thank you so much. And thank you also for providing the info, because I would have like not been I would have been like, oh, isn't that about the boxer? That's the only one I would have known. But everything like Ira Haze, I guess I would have like Abraham, Martin and John if I stick to the lyrics. But Man on the Moon, I didn't know it was about Andy Kaufman, or Candle in the Wind, didn't know it was about Princess Diana. So thank you again for the information. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and let me know what you thought. Thank you, Dave. See you all in the next one.